Renewed calls for information tonight, marking a sad discovery near the Emerson border 1 year ago. The Patels, a family of 4 from India, were found dead trying to cross into the U.S. With more on the investigation, CTV's Michelle Gerwing joins us now live. Michelle, what sort of information are police looking for 1 year later?
Marley, there's still a 2-day gap between the time the Patels arrived in Toronto and when their bodies were found near Emerson.
Exactly 12 months ago, the Manitoba RCMP made a tragic discovery 12 meters from the Manitoba-U.S. border. The bodies of Jagdish Patel, his wife, and 2 children, a family from India, dead from exposure. The RCMP believe they were dropped off near Emerson with a larger group attempting to cross into the United States on foot.
It does appear to be a human smuggling operation.
A year later, investigators say gaps remain in the Patels' movements in Canada.
4 people lost their lives that day, and it was a preventable incident. So we just want anyone that has information to please come forward and try and help us fill in those gaps.
Video shows the family at the Toronto airport on January 12th of last year. RCMP say they were picked up from the airport by a private vehicle and driven to a hotel in the Mississauga area. Between the 12th and 13th, the family was in and out of Toronto using both private vehicles and a ride-sharing service. Between the 14th and 16th, they moved between Mississauga and the city of Welland, Ontario. It's believed the family arrived in Emerson in the late evening of January 18th to begin their crossing. Their bodies were found the next morning. What's still unknown, says Corporal Julie Kirshane, is how they traveled from southern Ontario to Emerson.
We've checked, airplane, rail, buses. We've checked all those things and haven't been able to locate that they were on or took any of those. So I think we're under the assumption right now that it was a vehicle, that's the way that they got there.
In the time that's passed since this case broke, pandemic restrictions were lifted and the number of crossings is going up. One U.S. Customs and Border Protection agent told the Canadian press there's been a drastic uptick in people trying to enter North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin illegally from Canada. The number of asylum claims and interceptions is also increasing in Manitoba. According to statistics from Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, the RCMP made 72 last year in Manitoba, up from 19 and 28 in the previous 2 years, but fewer than the 180 from 2019. No matter which way people may be going, Corporal Kirshane says the Patel's case is a reminder of a difficult and dangerous journey.
We know that you may want to enter other countries, but there's other ways to do that, and to risk your lives, it's just not worth it.
Now, Corporal Kirshane tells CTV News this case is a priority and investigators on it are going to be traveling soon within Canada and internationally. The RCMP is working with counterparts in India and the U.S., and anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers.
In the Patel's case, Michelle, have any charges been laid?
In Canada, no, but on the U.S. side, a Florida man named Steve Shand is facing human smuggling charges in this case. His trial is set to start in Minnesota in mid-April. And police in India have also made 2 arrests. The suspects there are accused of helping to arrange the Patel's journey from India.